Well, I don't know if they are Jamaicans, Jamaican government must be able to go in to help Jamaicans.
Yes,
Right.
I agree with that, but
And the hurricane really.
within the confines of what exists within the treaty and the
Yeah.
constitution, it has to be in discussion and
So
dialogue.
which
Has to
part of the
be the
treaty?
way Jamaican
Which part of the treaty? Which part of the treaty restrict Jamaican government and military from going into Maroon
It
Town?
does not necessarily reject them, but they can object to having them in there,
Which part of the treaty said that?
which is what they've done.
Brother Lani, as you said before, the
We
treaty
can pull up
state
the
that
treaty and look
the
at it.
treaty state that they will make
It's the other way around.
pathway so the government can go
Yes.
there, or the colonial at the time can
Yes.
go up there. So if
It's the other way
Jamaica
around, you know.
represent that now, then if you make pathway for the government can go up there.
Yes.
It is
It's the other way around,
I know
Yaga.
situations.
Yeah.
And to all of the African and Caribbean people out there, I don't want to see a Thanksgiving plate. Thanksgiving is collard greens and turkey with cranberry sauce and what your name? The yellow something cornmeal, no, cornbread, yeah, and baked bean with like a barbecue sauce on it. And yeah, that is Thanksgiving food, not curry chicken and pepper soup and them something there. Thank you.
Alright, so the lady upset say. Now here's my take on this, right? Okay, so she upset like press button. We all know there's been this cultural difference between, Africans versus Caribbeans, where it looks like they don't like us, which may or may not be a fact, but that's not the thing. We shouldn't be that pressed if another culture doesn't rate us or like us, because at the end of the day, we should be in our own league. That's number one. Way how you delivered your message, if you was trying to make a point or bring awareness to the situation, was incorrect, because there was too much vim in your message for it to ever be received in the way how you wanted it to be received, if there was good intention behind it. I'm not enabling the intrusion, however, we intrude on other people's stuff as well. You can't fling stone in a glass house. And also, we can't fight over stuff that is not ours. Carnival is not ours. And we're in the wrong country to be arguing about who owns what. It's the UK, everything's diverse, everything mixed and blend. And what the argument? And when I say carnival is not ours, I mean it is from the Caribbean, however, it's the Trinis culture. Jamaicans just partake.
Why are there so many Jamaicans around? Every minute I'm seeing Jamaica and Barbados in people's flags. Jamaica and Barbados flag in people's names and bios. Why are there so many? What's happening there? Why are there so many Jamaicans? Why are there so many? What is it about us? Oh, I'm Jamaican, by the way. What? What is it? Why are there so many?
There's actually no fucking way I just come to my phone. I come on my phone that I paid money for. Yeah? I come on TikTok that I'm coming to chill, and I see this stupid ass question. 100 Africans versus 100 Caribbeans. Is that ever a question? When did you Caribbeans ever have the audacity to even put that into a sentence? What's going on here, man? Am I losing it? You must stick to running, man. Run faster. Run. Shake your neck when you're hunting. You wanna give it? What? No, that. No, you. Oh, fuck. The audacity, the tenacity, the courage. Because you must be smoking. It's the weed you're smoking. It's getting to your skull. Because there's no way. I don't want to hear that question again, man. And if you don't know the answer, look at yourself in the mirror. It's because you're not African. That's why you don't even know the answer. You bastard. Look at yourself, eh? Next time, try that again.
So I've been getting a lot of messages from people from the Caribbean and also from Africa. Those in Africa wants to visit the Caribbean. They want to come to Trinidad and Tobago. They want to experience the steel pan. They want to experience the land of Calypso. They want to experience the carnival. I'm also getting messages from people from the Caribbean who wants to visit Africa, especially Nigeria. This is good because we have a lot of people requesting to go back and forth, go to the motherland and they come back. This is amazing. But the problem is the gravity of stress you will have to go through to get to Africa from the Caribbean, and the gravity of stress that you have to go through if you're coming from the African states to come to the Caribbean is too much. For example, you get the visa to visit Trinidad and Tobago. Now, You think of the countries that you have to transition in. A lot of countries, you have to go through Europe or you have to go through America. And the problem is, when you go and apply to get a transit visa to go from Africa, to come to the Caribbean, most of these countries, they will reject. They will not issue the visa. I've heard a lot of people saying, listen, I have the visa to visit Trinidad and Tobago, but I cannot get transit visa. Those who want to go through Europe, they can't get a visa. Those who want to go through America, they can't get a visa. So it's a lot of pain to come to the Caribbean or to go from the Caribbean to Africa. Plus, it takes 2 days to go from Africa to the Caribbean or go from the Caribbean to Africa. It takes 2 days. When I came here, it took me 2 days as well. So the thing is, that is why we are hoping that this direct flight thing will come into effect, with immediate effect. That they will actually kick it in so that flights can fly from the Caribbean to Africa and from Africa, Nigeria to the Caribbean. We are praying for that. Otherwise, this rigorous, painful process will continue. I don't know what to say. We are praying. Let's pray.
30 years when this young man, Matthew Samuda, was a boy at Hopefield Preparatory School in 1995. And he was part of a group of Hopefield Preparatory School students who were advocating for the protection of the environment. Listen, watch.
As protests against the shipping of recycled plutonium through the Caribbean Sea mount, the French embassy in Jamaica has issued a statement on the matter. The embassy says it has no information on the name of the ship that will transport the plutonium or its route. And students of the Hopefield Preparatory School marched to the French embassy today to deliver a petition asking for the shipment to be stopped. 10-year-old Matthew Samuda delivered the students' message to the Chargé d'Affaires.
Of plutonium, lots of marine and human life would be wiped out from the Caribbean.
Oh, cue up that for me again. That was a report on the then, now defunct, Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation. Yeah? Read the news presenter was the very gifted Helene Coley Nicholson. That was in 1995. Yes, 1995. At that time, I was director of television news at JBC in 95. And we didn't know that this boy, 10 years old at the time, would be Jamaica's Minister of Environment today and the President of the United Nations Environmental Assembly. You know, these things have a way of manifesting themselves early. Yes? Early in life. Let's watch.
As protests against the shipping of recycled plutonium through the Caribbean Sea mount, the French embassy in Jamaica has issued a statement on the matter. The embassy says it has no information on the name of the ship that will transport the plutonium or its route. And students of the Hopefield Preparatory School marched to the French embassy today to deliver a petition asking for the shipment to be stopped. 10-year-old Matthew Samuda delivered the students' message to the Chargé d'Affaires.
Of plutonium, lots of marine and human life would be wiped out from the Caribbean.
Yeah. Coming events casting their shadows from 30 years ago.
African/Caribbean parents absolutely do not have the best form of parenting. What I've noticed over the years just observing human beings is that a lot of people usually fall into two types of parenting styles. There's the African/Caribbean parenting style where the parents mostly focus on respect from the children, honor, and a hierarchy-based system in the household, where mom and dad has the absolute say. If you're a child, you should be seen and not heard. Be quiet, do what you're told. I do not want to hear your perspective. I don't care about what you're feeling. I know what's best for you, and I need you to follow whatever instruction I give to you. I am not one of your little friends. Watch how you talk to me at all time. Watch your facial expression. I need you to be as stiff as a board when you're around me, because that shows ultimate respect and honor. with that parenting style, you're usually going to raise very independent children, mostly hyper-independent children that are very non-expressive. They tend to be very boring and mute when they're around their parents, only when they're around their parents. They tend to bottle up their feelings, and they tend to never ask for help. Even if they really need the help, they don't ask for it. They also tend to feel like burdens to their parents growing up. And when these type of children grow up, there is no possible way that you can expect them to be your best friend. Yes, you won't have to worry about them being independent. You won't have to worry about them out in the world. They'll be able to manage themselves. But these type of children, when they grow up, they usually don't care to visit you as much, especially as you get older. They don't care to bring the grandkids. They don't care to sit and have funny conversations. They don't care to sit and watch certain movies with you. They don't care to do all that stuff. They continue to form a relationship. And then you get angry at them for continuing that relationship because now they're adults. You want them to be your best friend. Parenting style number 2 is the loosey-goosey parenting style, which I see most white people fall into, where they put the focus on being their child's best friend. They put the focus on love, trust, and a bond. These type of parents are usually loose with their rules. They're loose with their boundaries. The kids usually are talking crazy to them. Some of the kids even curse at them. They say stuff like, I hate you, mom. You get it. There's usually not much emphasis on hierarchy, respect, and this honor system. And so this parenting style also has cons and pros. The pros to this parenting style is, yes, your kids are going to grow up and be your best friend. However, your kids might not be as reliable as a person who was raised by Caribbean/African parents. Your kids might be more shocked when it comes to going out into the world and finding out how unfair the world is, how strict the world is going to treat them. Your kids are going to find it hard to accept the word no from multiple other people in their life. It might be harder for them to keep a job. They might be more entitled. And sometimes it's so bad that these kids end up being 30 years old, 35, living in your house. You don't know how to tell them that, hey, I would like to see you move out and be an adult, because you've focused on this friendship so much and you don't want to mess up this friendship. And now your kids are adults that are unreliable. And now you're going to end up suffering in old age, because although they're going to always be around, you're not going to be able to rely on them much financially and all this other stuff. And you're going to have to worry about yourself in retirement. You're going to have to worry about your child in retirement, even though your child is a grown adult. Neither of these parenting styles I consider to be the best parenting style. The best parenting style is finding a balance between both of these parenting styles. You do not want to be your child's best friend. And when I say child, I mean a child who is 15 years old and younger. You don't want to be their best friend. You want to be in a position of authority. You want to be in a position of respect. You want to be able to set boundaries and have your kids follow those boundaries and rules that you set out for them. This is where you're going to want to be a stricter parent who enforce morals and values into your child. At the age of 15 going forward, your child is going through puberty. This is where you're going to want to start loosening the reins a bit, which is where most Caribbean/African parents get messed up at. Your child is going to become a little rebellious. They're going through puberty. Their bodies are flooded with hormones that they don't know how to handle. They're going to have mood swings. They're going to be moody. They're going to be mean sometimes, etc. They're going to start being attracted to the opposite sex. They're going to start having secrets. This is where you slowly start to make the transition into that more friendship type of parenting. You don't want to a full-on friendship yet, because your child is still developing. They're going through puberty and they're going to be irrational and they're going to make some bad decisions. You don't want to be totally their friend. You want to start easing into that friendship, but you don't want to just immediately start being their friend and letting them do whatever, because they're going to destroy their own life. Still hold the reins, but loosen them a little bit. Let them know they can open up to you. Give them advice where they might be struggling. Don't just criticize every choice they make and put down this mean, harsh, judgmental spirit on them every time they bring up a problem to you, because they're going to start not bringing things up to you. They're going to start keeping everything a secret. And that relationship will never become a friendship when they become adults. It will always be a parent and a child. And that's where most Caribbean/African parents start to struggle and lose it all. They keep this strict parenting style all the way up until the child is 20, 21, 22, going up, even until the child moves out of the house. Because a lot of African/Caribbean parents have this thing where as long as you live under their roof, you're still a child and you have no say in nothing. And so then when this child finally moves out and become a full-fledged adult, then they want to switch. They want to do this sudden switch. So you should be my best friend. Tell me about your dating life. Have you met a husband yet? When are you planning to have kids? You're almost 30. They make this horrible, choppy transition into being your friend, and you just can't be their friend. That's not how they raise you. Up until you become a full-fledged adult, that is not how they raise you. And then they get angry at you because you're not open and you're not jolly and you don't want to sit with them and watch movies and discuss dating lives and all this stuff. That is where their problem comes in. When your child is 16, 17, they should be able to talk to you about their attraction to the opposite gender. If you have a daughter, she's going to like boys. Like, I don't get why it's such a shocking thing. This is why you slowly start unlocking the friendship mode. Your daughter is 18, 19, 17. Do you have a boy you like? Who is this boy that you like? Tell me about him. What is his family like? Do you want to bring him over so we can meet him? You slowly start increasing curfew. Your curfew is now that you're 18, your curfew is 12 a.m. I know that you have friends. You're a young adult. You're going to want to be out. It's fine. Just make sure you don't make a lot of noise when you come in. And if we're awake when you come in, we'd like you to tell us about your night, because we care. If you had fun, we want to know what you did. If you feel comfortable telling us, you can tell us and we can sit and laugh about it. You have to make it so that this transition into being the child's friend is a smooth transition. All right. So that when they're a full-fledged adult, you have that friendship with your child that you always wanted. You can't just raise them with this strict iron fist and then at the age of 25 they move out, or you expect them to just wake up at the age of 20 and be your best friend. It's never gonna happen. It's not happening.
You guys, is it just me or are Caribbeans the finest people in America? No offense to us, the rest of the world, but why is it that most times when you see a very exotic, tall, beautiful, handsome, clean skin, full edges, I'm not talking about beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. I'm talking about generally acceptable by everyone, physically visible, present beauty. They are from the Caribbeans. They either have something to do with Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Caribbean people, Barbados, the Rihannas, Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, St. Vincent, St. Grenadine, St. Those Caribbean islands. Have you guys noticed? They just wake up beautiful and handsome by default. I feel like the Caribbeans have a beauty cheat code. Have you guys noticed? And then they have good skin too with edges. Tall. Am I the only one here? Am I tripping? These island people are so fine. What are they giving to them in those islands? Is it the rice and peas? Or the red snapper? I don't understand. Caribbean people are fine. Even Naomi Campbell is from Caribbean. Even Sean Paul. Even Jason Derulo. They're all Caribbeans. They are so fine, yeah. Ha! Jesus.
Black Africans and Black Caribbeans and Black Americans are different. Black Africans and Black Caribbeans are closer, almost identical. They have high, and I'm generalizing now, but generalization is pretty accurate. They have high self-esteem and lower levels of confidence. Black Americans have higher levels of confidence and lower levels of self-esteem. Because if slavery lasted here longer, it was turned into a business, and it was an intentional desire to destroy your spirit, because if they had this black man here, coming here with all that build and all that brawn from, by the way, they say they went to Africa, oh, we're dumb, we're stupid. Knock that off. 1600s, 1500s was an agricultural age. The wealthiest gold in America, in the world, were cotton crops and sugar crops and tobacco crops, which are in areas which were very humid, very hot, and the soil was almost dead. Who could master dead soil? Africans. So they went halfway around the world to find the geniuses of the soil. They brought us halfway around the world because we could build wealth for them and income. But they didn't need this brother's attitude. They needed his body. So they separated from his family, so he had no hope. They abused his wife and held him down so he couldn't protect her until he gave up his self-esteem. Now he's just machinery. So now, 400 years later, we never healed. So if I don't like me, I'm not going to like you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not going to feel good about you. If I don't respect me, don't expect me to respect you. If I don't love me, I don't have a clue how to love you. And here's the big one. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Whatever goes around, comes around. So we have high confidence, Jerome, because we've competed and succeeded against all odds in the biggest economy on the planet. So we have high confidence because we're competent, but we have low self-esteem, which is why you have crab in the barrel. It's why somebody's sitting there going, what is he talking about? My life? Why would anybody have anything with something positive to say right now? So if you got a problem with me, you need to check yourself. I don't even know you. So, as Quincy Jones once said, not 1 ounce of my self-esteem depends on your acceptance of me. So it's okay if you don't like me, I like me. Now, Black African, y'all, come on now, we having church in here. Now, Black Africans and Caribbeans experience slavery lower for a shorter period of time, and they experience family structure and role modeling for a longer period of time. The mayor was black. The governor was black. The premier was black. The dentist was black. The barber was black. The thief was black. Everybody was black. Together families. So they have higher self-esteem, but they have lower confidence because they didn't succeed in the market economy. It makes perfect sense. So when that's why when black Africans or Caribbeans come here, within 2 or 3 years, they're killing it. Yet the Ethiopians in Washington, D.C., they're at the Park Hyatt parking the cars. Within a couple of days, they've hired the buddies to be valets. Within a few weeks, they're also the taxi drivers. Within a couple months, they put the money in for an Uber car. Now they got a black car. Now they got 3 black cars. Now they live together. Now they have their entire staff in the front of the lobby. They have the valets. They got the taxi. They got the Ubers. They're willing to rent you an apartment if you want one. I mean, but that's because the hustle was the only ingredient that they missed. The opportunity. Black people, black Americans are the role models for the world. But we've got a little bit confused because we think that's enough. We're also depressed. I think that 70% of black Americans clinically undiagnosed depressed. And I can't prove that number. I love the number. I can't prove that one. But whenever I talk to somebody, our people in a real conversation, can I get an amen? So when we're having a real conversation, we just have to heal so we can deal. Now, if we can heal, which is real wealth, and heal ourselves and love ourselves, now we can have a relationship. Now, in a relationship, it's the only time where it should be multiplication and not math. So if in a relationship, if 2 + 2 does not equal 6, 8, or 10, what are you doing? If you're not better together, what are you doing? When you go to the club tonight, what's tonight? Tonight's Saturday. When you go to the club tonight, what's tonight? Friday. Entrepreneurs, we work 18 hours, they keep getting a job. We can work 18 hours and we have a nap for 3 hours, for 6 hours, that's it. So yeah, I don't know what day it is. You go to the club tonight? Oh man, she's fine. Oh, he's so handsome. What's your name? Oh, what's your credit score? And I'm only partially joking. After the looks fall away and the body falls away, that's your business partner for life. 2 + 2 should equal 6, 8, or 10. If you're not better together, what are you doing? So this thing we're talking about is self-esteem is the entire ball game. If we can't fix this, we're done. No one else can hurt us, we'll hurt us. If we can fix this, I believe we will and we are. No one can stop us.
African parents, they look down on us Jamaicans, for the most part. I don't know if they'll publicly admit this, but they definitely have to talk to their children. I know, firsthand. So you might have to check it. Man, I'm Jamaican, but I can only say growing up, you know, I've only had one Jamaican friend. The rest of my brothers and that growing up, they've all been African. Whether they're from Ghana, Nigeria, or Congo, Angola, them man, they have all been African. Man can only say I really got one Jamaican friend growing up. See, I'm from Edmonton, primarily Africans in my area, innit? A lot of people say to me that they think I'm Nigerian or at least African and that. Now I know obviously man look Nigerian and I'm 40% Nigerian, done the test. But maybe certain of my mannerisms and that. You know, you are what you hang around with, you're a product of your environment. So if you hang around with Africans and that, you're going to take on certain of their characteristics and their traits, their mannerisms and that. And yeah, growing up, you know, like man will make a few statements and that, and see, I'm a dangerous man, you know. What you say to me 12, 13 years ago, I will remember to this day. And I remember one of my brethren said something to me that I will never forget. And it was funny at the time. Pure ignorance, you think at the time. But my brethren said to me that his mum told his younger sister, never marry a Jamaican because he will bring coke into the family. Now at the time it was funny, at the time you just think, yeah, ignorance and that.
But there's a deeper meaning behind that, you know. Literally. African folk, the ones from back home, they look down on us Jamaicans and that. They feel like if we marry into their family, we'll bring shame upon the family and that. You see, Africans, the ones from back home and that come over here, not all of them, but a lot of them, they think us Jamaicans, they think we're fools, you know. Literally, they feel like we're the lost ones. And you know what? Slightly, you can't really blame them. We're known for banning weed, breeding up bare gal. They'll go and watch our videos and that, you know, like raving and that, and you get me, the women, our women, Jamaican women, a lot of them is vulgar and that. I understand why, you get me, they would think that we're fools and look down on us and that. It's just pure ignorance though, to the point where like, they see all of us Caribbeans as the same, you know. Literally, you can't tell these African people that are from Africa back home, yeah, the ones that come over here that you meet, the fresh ones and that. Oh, I'm from St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, Haiti, Montserrat. Yeah, you're fucking Jamaican, isn't it? Yeah, they don't differentiate, you know. What, you're from, you're Jamaican, yeah? You're Jamaican, you're a fool. They literally think we're a fool. They wouldn't really admit this publicly. If you're a Jamaican, watch this right now. And if you was watching it with an African person from back home, they wouldn't admit, but I'm telling you, man grew up with Africans, blood. I'm telling you. They think by default, a lot of us Jamaicans are fools. They feel like, you know, the young Jamaicans growing up were not going to be nothing, you know. But it's funny. It's funny. You know, the other day I made a video talking, and I'm sure I released it as well in it already. I was saying that I was chatting to a girl one time. And I told her I wanted her to get fired from her job because I felt like, you know, she wasn't getting paid enough. She could be getting paid more. This girl's earning £70 a day when she could be earning £300 a day and that. Basically, the whole video is about, you know, when you say certain things to people at the time and they don't want to hear it, so you're basically talking Chinese. If someone don't want to hear what you're saying, you may as well be speaking a different language and that. And you know what? It just makes me think like, you know, it's funny, yeah, like growing up, because I was a Jamaican and I was around, you get me, my brethrens and certain of my brethrens' parents know I am, they know I'm a Jamaican, they know I was a bit of a rebel and that. They probably looked down on me. They probably looked at me like, yep, he's just going to be another Jamaican foolish statistic and that. But it's funny though. It's funny because if I was to actually, you know, look at the man them that I've grown up with, and me, I'm a man, I don't compare myself to no one, innit? I'm in a race with myself. But if I look at the man then that I grow with and that, they would admit this, yeah, whether they would admit it to themselves. Certain man, you know, certain man, they got too much pride in it, yeah, so they will never admit it. But deep down, they could admit that Jay is doing better than all of us. Yet still, I'm the only Jamaican, you know. The parents and that. If they knew what man was on, they would actually admit, yeah, that boy there, that Jamaican one that was supposed to be the fool is actually doing better than all of us, or all of our sons, should I say. Yeah, it's a funny one still. It's like certain parents, they spoke too soon and that, because I could imagine like, when their sons and that are coming up 16, 17 years old, they're probably thinking, yeah, my son's gonna go to uni, do his IT thing, or you get me, do his business banking thing or do his lawyer thing. And it's like fast forward 10 years and it's like in that time, your front door's been kicked off by the police a couple times. Your son's been in and out of jail for selling drugs. Your son is still in jail for selling drugs and that. And it's like the Jamaican fool is actually doing the best out of the bunch. You get me? None of their sons can say, oh yeah, you know, they got properties and that. And you know what, deep down, if they was honest with themselves, and you know what, yeah, this is with a lot of mums as well. A lot of mums, I said this in one of my videos as well. I think it was the one where I took my mum to go and see my properties up here in Northampton and that. A lot of mums, they will say, yeah, they're proud of their son and that. But deep down, they're not really proud of their son. There's nothing to be proud of. How can a mum really be proud of her son if he's X amount of years old, still living at home,
not really doing that or this, or not really making any steps of preparation to get out and start a family and start building his own dynasty and stuff like that. See, certain women, certain mums, they will say, yeah, I'm proud of my son and that. But if you actually ask them, which you couldn't, because it would be too intrusive, be too on the borderline disrespectful aspect, unless you're another family member like an auntie, what are you actually proud of your son for, innit, yeah? Lay down and tell me, explain to me what you're proud of him for, innit? They couldn't really give you a definitive answer in that, what, because he's still alive? Or he's got 1 youth, 2 youths, or it's because he's this tall, or what? You know what I'm saying, innit? So, yeah, it's a funny one. It's a funny one. Yeah, it just makes me laugh though, innit? Yeah, like, I could imagine when I used to go and you get me and I met a couple of people, they probably thought, because this is what they think, a lot of them, they think that Jamaicans are fools and that. And they probably thought, oh, you know, I would be the one to not, but you actually got it wrong. Like, literally, there's some African family that live on my road, actually. And one of the sort of proper African woman from back home and that, she said to Mom, you know what, your son is doing so well, you know, I'm so proud of him. Like, these times, man, not even got no properties or nothing like that. They probably don't even know I got properties anyway. I just got a job at home, so Haringey, and that. She's like, no, I'm so proud of your son, but not these riffraffs, unlike these riffraffs on the estate and that. And I was like, rah. But back in the day, when I was getting in trouble and that, she probably was one of the ones that was turning up her nose thinking, oh, typical Jamaican and that. Literally. Obviously, us Jamaicans, we diss Africans as well, innit? So man will put my hands up there as well, innit? But I'm telling you, Africans don't want us married into their family. I've even been at a man's son's birthday and I've seen someone give a speech and that, and a man made a joke saying that, oh, I was disappointed when I found out the girl was Jamaican and that. And we all laughed and that. But the fact that that even comes out of your mouth means you were slyly thinking it. You understand what I'm trying to say in it? Who plucks out a joke like that out of thin air? Really and truly, he probably was disappointed that a man went with a Jamaican girl instead of wherever a man's from, his culture. Obviously, there's going to be Africans and that they don't care, innit? Yeah, as long as my child is happy, my son's happy, my daughter's happy. But there's a lot of Africans in that. They don't want Jamaicans in their family and that, because they feel like we're going to be bringing them down and that. But like I said, it's just funny, innit? Because if you was to compare me to the whole squadron and that, the man then would admit, nah, Jay is actually the one that's actually setting trends, and you get me, we could learn from him. We could go to, if we needed help on how to, we would actually be going to him and that. Furthermore, the parents would be going to be in that, because they don't even have their own things.
What's up, beautiful and amazing people. So guys, welcome back to today's video. It's all about African versus the Caribbeans, their way of upbringing, and it has brought a lot of discussions on this space, and we are here to also discuss it at the same time, because the way that Africans were being brought up or are being brought up currently has really been affected by how we were treated from like 100 years ago, so many years ago. And believe you me, all these things were kind of, it was just a way of controlling us, a way of ensuring that this is how we are going to be like for the next 100 or so many years. And I know it's not really good. As you can see that from the clips that we just played, they were talking about African parents being close to their children, like from the way the children are young, they're never close to them. In fact, they're so harsh. And in fact, yeah, I will say that's so true. And that affects so many generations to come. I don't know when it will ever end. And I really hope that you watched the clips, all of them, and get to understand. Kindly comment in the comment below, so that we get to know what you really think about the video. And guys, I don't know if you feel like Africans and the Caribbeans really feel so close to each other. They feel like they understand each other's struggle compared to Africans and Black Americans or Africans or Black Jamaicans, not really Black Jamaicans, the Caribbeans and the Black Americans. You know, there is a culture in between that really separates the two groups. But I don't know why if Africans, we really feel like we understand the Caribbean people, and they also feel like they understand us, and they are always proud that to be associated to Africans. So other than that, there has been leadership issues where Jamaicans have always wished to have a Ibrahim Traore in their country, whereby he will stand a leader who stands up, mentions where the problem is, points out at the problem, mentions who are the causes of these problems and how to get rid of the problem or solve the problem. So that's one of the leadership that has lacked in so many African countries and the Caribbeans. And of course, Jamaicans have always asked, where is our Ibrahim Traore? I don't know why people believe so much in Ibrahim Traore. They see him as a savior. They see him as a revolutionary leader. They see Patrice Lumumba in him. They see Thomas Sankara in him. They see revolutionary leaders in him. And yeah, we are so encouraged that he always thinks about making Africa great again. He believes in using their he believes in Africans using their own resources rather than giving out to other nations so that they can use them to enrich themselves. And it was so sad recently when Congo told America, you can come and get our resources. Yeah, look, the companies that come and run this particular gold factory or extraction of gold here, and then it is taken to America for refinery. Later on, it's brought back to Africa as a finished product, and it's not really benefiting us in any way. So I don't know what you think about that, but guys, comment. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.